Hello, my friends. Welcome to this live class. Today we're going to read an exciting and tragic story of a doctor that was accused of murdering his own wife. But what really happened? Did he murder his wife? Or did someone else? Let's find out. Part 1. Tragedy strikes. Dr. Benjamin Lawson, a respected physician, returned home one fateful evening to discover the lifeless body of his wife. Panic surged through him as he saw a mysterious figure slipping away from his house. Desperation and shock paralyzed him, but he noted a unique tattoo on the man's wrist, a twisted serpent, an indelible mark etched into his memory. The police arrived, dismissing Benjamin's account as a desperate attempt to divert suspicion. Despite his pleas, the evidence seemed damning, leading to his arrest for the murder of his wife. We have some comprehension questions for you. Can you answer them in the comments below this video? Number 1, what caught Benjamin's attention as he saw a mysterious figure slipping away from his house? And why did it leave an indelible mark on his memory? Well, the story tells us that he saw the man's wrist, right? There was a tattoo of a twisted serpent on the man's wrist. That is what caught his attention. And part 2 of the question asks, why did it leave an indelible mark? Why did it leave a mark that could not be removed on his memory? Well, I think that it could not leave his memory because seeing that twisted serpent tattoo was so shocking, right? He associated that tattoo with the murder of his wife. And because he associated the tattoo with the murder of his wife, it was so shocking to him that he could not ever get that picture of the tattoo out of his mind. It was, as the story says, it was an indelible mark etched into his memory. You can't remove that. How would you answer these questions? Let me know in the comments, please, below the video. Part 2, heroic escape. In transit to prison, a chaotic accident provided Benjamin with an unexpected opportunity. The prison transit bus careened off the road, causing a violent collision. Seizing the chaos, Benjamin, driven by adrenaline and desperation, managed to snatch the guard's key during the confusion. Quickly freeing himself from the handcuffs, Benjamin surveyed the chaotic scene. To his horror, he noticed another prisoner, Jake Reynolds, poised to use the guard's gun on the unconscious law enforcement officers. Thinking fast, Benjamin leaped into action, tackling Jake and preventing him from harming the defenseless guards. However, despite his heroic act, suspicion lingered in the eyes of the remaining prisoners and any witnesses among the guards. The injured officers regained consciousness to find Benjamin standing over them, adding another layer of complexity to his already precarious situation. The bus, still teetering on the edge of the cliff, left Benjamin with no choice but to flee into the night, leaving the guards to wonder whether he was a savior or a dangerous fugitive. Wow, that's exciting, right? Well, let's ask the questions. What unexpected opportunity presented itself to Benjamin during the chaotic accident? So, where was Benjamin when this accident took place? It says here that Benjamin was in transit to prison. Maybe he was on a prison bus, a bus that transports prisoners to the prison. What happened the question is, what unexpected opportunity presented itself? Well, the opportunity to escape presented itself, right? Now Benjamin had the opportunity to escape because of the chaotic accident. Would you have escaped if you were in Benjamin's situation? Or would you have just remained waiting for help to arrive at the bus? Please let us know what your answer is in the comments below. The second question for this part of the story is, describe the chaotic scene on the prison transit bus after the accident. Oh, so it's not a question. It's asking us or telling us to describe the scene on the prison transit bus. Well, the way that I would describe it is probably the guards and the prisoners on the bus suffered injuries, maybe injuries to the head or to the body. They probably started bleeding a little bit, right? Maybe the bus turned over and now it is lying on its side, right? So it says here that also there was a violent collision. The bus collided with something. So it was very, very scary and dangerous. It says here that Benjamin, the doctor, the husband whose wife was murdered, it says here that he felt adrenaline pumping in his body, in his blood. He felt like a lot of energy, a lot of adrenaline and desperation. So quickly, he snatched the guard's key and started to unlock the handcuffs. What else happened? Let's see. The question number 3 is, how did Benjamin manage to free himself? Well, we just said that he took the guard's key, right? Who was Jake Reynolds and what threat did he pose during the chaotic situation? Well, Jake Reynolds was another prisoner that was on the prison transit bus. And what threat did he pose? Well, the story says that Jake Reynolds took one of the guards' guns and he was about to use the gun on the guards, on the law enforcement officers. So that was a big threat, right? And Benjamin, the doctor, he's not a bad person, right? What did Benjamin do? Well, after Benjamin took off the handcuffs, he leaped into action, says the story, right? He tackled Jake, the other prisoner with the gun. He tackled him and he prevented him from using the gun on the guards. The guards were defenseless. The guards probably even lost consciousness because here the story tells us that the injured guards eventually regained consciousness. So when Jake was about to use the gun on them, they weren't conscious. But the doctor, Benjamin, saved their lives. He tackled the prisoner. The next question asks, why did suspicion linger among the remaining prisoners and witnesses, adding complexity to Benjamin's situation? So, why were people still suspicious about Benjamin? Well, it's because no one really saw Benjamin acting heroically. Nobody saw Benjamin save the guards because the guards were unconscious, so they couldn't see him. So, and the story says, it says here, when the guards regained consciousness, it says that they saw Benjamin standing over them. They saw him standing over them, right? And so maybe they were scared and they thought, he's going to kill me. So there was still a great doubt in the people's minds. And there was not any evidence to show that Benjamin was innocent. So Benjamin had to flee. He had to run because he was still a criminal in the eyes of the law enforcement agency, right? In the eyes of the police. Okay, part 3. And if you have any questions or if you have any comments, please let me know in the comments under this video. Part 3, on the run. The relentless Deputy U.S. Marshal, Rachel Saunders, was assigned to bring Benjamin to justice. As she closed in on him, he narrowly slipped away, leaving her frustrated and determined to unravel the mystery behind his escape. Throughout his quest for justice, close calls with Deputy Marshal Saunders kept Benjamin on the edge. Whether it was blending into a bustling crowd or taking refuge in the shadows of the city, he always managed to elude capture. His medical skills proved invaluable as he tended to his injuries in makeshift hideouts. So, who is Deputy U.S. Marshal Rachel Saunders, and what is her role in the story? How would you answer this question? Well, I would say that U.S. Deputy Marshal Rachel Saunders, she plays the role of trying to find Benjamin and capturing him again, because Benjamin is a fugitive. He's a criminal running away from law enforcement. So Rachel Saunders, the U.S. Marshal, she is trying to get him. That is the role that she plays in this story. How does Benjamin manage to elude capture and navigate close calls with Deputy Marshal Saunders throughout his quest for justice? So, how does he get away from her, right? How does he elude her? How does he elude capture? They get very close to each other, right? She is so close to getting him, but he always manages to get away. How? Well, it says here in the story that sometimes he would blend into a busy crowd, or sometimes he would take refuge in the shadows of the city, right? He would hide. He would slip away so that she could not see him anymore. He also used his medical skills, because he's a doctor, to tend to his own injuries. And because he could tend to his own injuries, he didn't have to go to a hospital, right? He didn't have to go to a hospital because if he had gone to a hospital, the police likely would have been alerted to his presence and they would have captured him again. But because he's a doctor and he didn't have to go to a hospital, he was able to elude capture. He was able to get away. Part 4, unraveling the mystery. As Benjamin sought answers about his wife's murder, he uncovered a sinister plot involving a pharmaceutical giant. Financial records revealed substantial payments made to a clandestine account, and encrypted emails hinted at a nefarious plan to silence anyone opposing their dangerous drug. The twisted serpent tattoo, the same mark he saw on the murderer's wrist, appeared in internal company documents, connecting the dots between the hired killer and the pharmaceutical empire. A chance encounter with a former employee, now disenchanted with the company's practices, provided Benjamin with a trove of insider information. The disgruntled whistleblower detailed how the drug company, furious over Benjamin's refusal to endorse their dangerous product, had orchestrated the murder of his wife to tarnish his reputation and eliminate him as a vocal opponent. Wow, that is very interesting, right? What a story that is being developed here. Isn't it crazy? What do you think about the story so far? Let me know in the comments, please. So, question number 1 for this part. What did Benjamin uncover about the pharmaceutical giant's involvement in his wife's murder? And how did the twisted serpent tattoo play a role in connecting the dots? So let's answer part 1 first. What did he find out about the drug company, the drug company's involvement with his wife's murder? Well, he found out that the drug company was perhaps sending large payments to a bank account, and also the drug company was sending and receiving encrypted emails, right? Like secret emails, which was helping to reveal their plan and their involvement in his wife's murder. It says that they wanted to silence anyone opposing their dangerous drug. So the pharmaceutical company, the drug company, wanted to produce and sell a drug, but this drug is very dangerous. So if anyone has a problem with the drug company wants to silence them. They want to stop them from telling the truth. So, that is what Benjamin found out about his wife's murder. It says, how did the twisted serpent tattoo play a role in connecting the dots? Well, it says here that when he was researching the company documents, he saw the same twisted serpent image on the documents as he saw on the murderer's wrist. So the murderer had the same image of the serpent as the pharmaceutical company's documents. that shows that there was a connection between the murderer and this pharmaceutical company. Karen says, encrypted means there was a hidden message in the emails, right? Well, yeah, Karen, good job. An encrypted email means like an email that was maybe not easy to open up. A message that is encrypted needs to be perhaps deciphered, or like sort of like some kind of a lock was on the email, and you need to take the lock away in order to see what does the email actually say. You know, an encrypted document is locked, and you cannot see what the document says until you unlock the document. So the doctor was able to actually open up these encrypted emails somehow. Karen says, connecting the dots means there is a link between two or more things. Yes, Karen, very good. You're right. Connecting the dots. You see this phrase, connecting the dots? That means that there is a link or a connection between two or more things. Very good, Karen. Good. Okay, let's answer the next question. How did the disgruntled whistleblower's information contribute to Benjamin's understanding of the sinister plot? And what was the motive behind the murder of Benjamin's wife? Okay, so Benjamin, the doctor, he found a whistleblower. He found a former employee of the drug company. This person, this former employee, was not happy with the company's practices. He was not happy with what the company was doing because they were bad, right? This company was bad, doing bad things. So this former employee was a whistleblower, someone who revealed secret information. Okay? Now, this person told Benjamin about the company and how the company wanted to kill Benjamin's wife because Benjamin, being a good doctor, refused to endorse their dangerous product. Oh, thank you, Evie B. Evie B says, teacher, I like this story. I like mystery. I'm happy that you like the story, Evie B. Thank you for being here. So, Benjamin refused to go along with this dangerous drug, so the company killed his wife. That is what the whistleblower told Benjamin. Part 5. Declaring innocence. With this damning evidence in hand, Benjamin knew he couldn't face the drug company head on without concealing his identity. He shaved off his distinctive beard and dyed his hair a different color, transforming his appearance into that of a common man, a mere shadow in the city. As Benjamin continued his investigation, he realized the urgency of convincing Deputy Marshal Saunders of his innocence. In a daring move, he managed to call her on a payphone, desperately attempting to assure her of the truth. However, the skepticism in her voice was palpable. She couldn't believe that the fugitive on the other end of the line was the innocent man he was claiming to be. So, why did Benjamin decide to change his appearance by shaving off his distinctive beard and dyeing his hair a different color? Why did he want to change his appearance? Well, it says here that he needed to conceal his identity. You see, he needed to conceal his identity. So, he wanted to look like a different person, right? He did not want people to recognize him as being the doctor. So that's why he took off his beard and he changed the color of his hair so that other people would think that he's someone else. Okay, the next question. It says, describe the significance of Benjamin's daring move to call Deputy Marshal Saunders on a payphone. What challenge did he face in convincing her of his innocence? So, why is it significant that Benjamin called Rachel Saunders on the payphone? Well, I think that he called her because, well, it shows that he is so desperate to be found innocent. So he took the risk, right? He took the risk of calling the deputy marshal on the phone and trying to convince her of his innocence. He might have even tried to explain all of the evidence that he found about the pharmaceutical company, right? And their involvement in the murder of his wife. But how did she respond? Right? What challenge, it asks, what challenge did he face in convincing her of his innocence? Well, it says here that he could hear the skepticism in her voice. That means that she was skeptical about what he was saying. That means that she did not believe what he was saying. She thought that he was lying. It says that the skepticism in her voice was palpable. That means that she sounded like so much like he could hear in her voice how skeptical she was. So skeptical that he could almost feel it in his hands. That's how skeptical she was. He could almost touch the feeling. That's how evident it was. She just could not believe that he was innocent. What do you think? If you were the U.S. Marshal, would you have believed the doctor, Benjamin, if he had called you on the phone and tried to explain to you all of the research that he found about the pharmaceutical company? Would you have believed him? What would you have done? Let us know in the comments. Part 6. Confrontation of truth. Despite this setback, Benjamin pressed on, determined to bring the real culprits to justice and clear his name. In a climactic confrontation, he infiltrated the drug company's headquarters, armed with the evidence that would expose their malevolent deeds. The executives, cornered and exposed, crumbled under the weight of their guilt. The real murderer was taken into custody, and the corrupt empire now laid bare, disintegrated. Deputy Marshal Saunders, now realizing Benjamin's innocence, played a crucial role in helping him bring the culprits to justice. Benjamin, free from the shadows that had haunted him, rebuilt his life, determined to honor his wife's memory by continuing to fight for justice. Oh, Evie B says that she would have believed Benjamin. Oh, and Starry Night says that she would want to speak to Benjamin further. Thank you for your comments. We have some questions now. It says, describe Benjamin's determination after the setback. Okay, so after with Saunders, what did he do? Well, he probably figured, well, if Saunders doesn't believe my story, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. It says Benjamin pressed on. He kept going. He was determined to bring the real culprits, the bad guys, to justice. He was determined to clear his name, to prove his innocence. Okay. Here, the question asks, in the climactic confrontation at the drug company's headquarters, what role did Benjamin play? And how did the executives react to the evidence he presented? So, in other words, what did Benjamin do at the company's headquarters? And how did the executives of the pharmaceutical company react to the evidence that he presented? Well, it says here that when he got to the headquarters of the company, it says that he had the evidence, right? It says he was armed with evidence that would expose their evil, malevolent deeds, their actions. It says that after showing them all of the evidence that he had, the executives of the company felt cornered, right? They couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't escape. They had nowhere to go. They could not deny the evidence. They were exposed, right? They were exposed. And it even says that these people crumbled under the weight of their guilt. They were so crushed by the guilt of what they did, murdering his wife and who knows how many other people, right? But, yeah. And after that, it says that Deputy Marshal Saunders, she now realized that Benjamin was innocent, and she helped him in arresting all of the culprits, all of the bad people. What do you think about the story? Do you like this kind of story? Do you like learning English using these comprehension questions? If you learned a new word in this video, in this class, please tell me what word you learned and try to make sentences with the vocabulary that you are learning from the live class. Thank you all so much for joining the live class. If you have any questions, if you want to have a copy of these notes and the story, please let me know in the comments and I will send you a copy of the story. Thank you so much for joining. Please send this video to other people who want to learn English. Have a great day or a great night. Bye-bye.